Hey Bookaholics, so welcome back to another reading vlog. Today we're doing my first full official spinner wheel vlog of the year. I did do one spin in my January TBR, and the book for that is in the vlog that will already be up by the time this one is up, which is my 5-star predictions vlog that will have gone up a few weeks ago, I imagine by now. We're now going to do like a proper spinner wheel vlog. So we're going to see what the prompts come up with. It could be a challenge, it could be a series, and these are all going to flow into each other. So it's like once the vlog starts to look a little bit long, then I start a new one. So who knows how many books I'm going to get into this vlog or whatever. So let's give it a try. Let's see what we end up spinning and what book comes from it. Before we get into the actual spinner wheel, if you don't know how the spinner wheel works, I do have a video where I talk about all of the different cards that could come up in each of the pots. But basically, we have 3 pumpkins on here, which correspond with the pumpkin pot, and these ones are prompts. We have 3 eyeballs, which correspond with the eyeball, which are series. So to continue a series, start a series, binge a series. And then the last one that we have are the 3 cats that correspond with the cat pot, and those are challenges. So that could be do an entire vlog project, it could be read a book in 24 hours, etc. So we'll see what I end up with and what I end up choosing. So let's get a little bit closer. All right, are we ready to start this vlog? Let's go. Ooh, series. All right, all the cards in here are shuffled now. They weren't in the video, so I could keep track of them. They are now shuffled. We have Extended Universe. Oh shit. Oh god. Okay, let's go talk about this. All right, the Extended Universe is in this jar where I have 4 possible prompts. We have Malazan, Discworld, Red Rising, and Cosmere. I'm going to pull a book out of here, and I'm going to have to read one of those. I mean, I could choose. I don't have to pull it from the jar, but I think it's actually more terrifying to choose on my own. All right, let's give them a little shuffle. All right. They're shuffled. They're put back in. Go with this. Oh, shit. All right. I mean, I was hoping it'd be Discworld, because at least those books are short. All right, let's go see where we're at with Cosmere. I was excited a minute ago. Fuck, what a way to start this vlog. Oh my god. Okay, Cosmere. Turns out in the Cosmere, I am currently on Words of Radiance. Now, it's been a hot minute since I read the first book, so I might need to read a recap. I'm not fucking rereading it. I didn't like it enough to reread it. I will look up a refresher for the is it The Way of Kings, the first one? And then we're gonna read Words of Radiance. Now, I have the UK paperbacks, and I do count the 2 separate books as separate books because I am not cray-cray enough to do this whole thing in one go. I don't like Sanderson enough for this. It was gonna be this and Malazan, wasn't it? It was gonna be those. With Red Rising, I've only got 3 books left in it because Red God hasn't come out yet, and I'm okay with that one going slowly. And Discworld, it's short books. I mean, I read them slowly, but it's short books. I guess this is what we're doing. For full disclosure, in the background, I am buddy reading Leviathan Wakes with my husband. So this is also going to be getting read, so that might make me a little bit slower, but it's probably not going to make a huge dent because we only read a little bit at a time because he's setting the pace. I might need an ebook at some point. I don't know if I spin for the ebook as well, or if I just pick an ebook. I guess I'll start this and we'll just see how we go. Oh no. Okay, we'll see how this vlog treats me. At the minute, badly. Hey vlog, I'm here to check in because I have done some reading. I haven't made any progress at all with Leviathan Wakes. I'm probably not going to talk about that one in this vlog solely on the basis that it's going to appear in a different vlog anyway, and then on top of that it is not a spinner wheel pick. I have however made some progress in Words of Radiance. I am on page 216. I have just finished the first interludes, so that means I've read part 1 and the interludes. And the thing with the Stormlight Archive books that I've read so far, I don't dislike them. Like, there's no wrong with them. I'm entertained when I'm reading them. Do I think they need to be as many pages long as they are? It's not even the page count that's the problem, is the thing, because there's so much going on in them. Like, I understand, like, there's so much development and like world building and stuff in them. I understand why they are as long as they are. I just don't care enough for me to look at the 1,000+ pages that each of these books are and go, yeah. You know, like Robin Hobb, she brings out a 900-page book and I'm like, goody, goody, goody. But with the Sanderson ones, I'm just a bit like, okay, that's gonna take me a while. You know, the fact that I am like, there's no way I'm reading two of these in a row. I'll read the parts separately. It is clearly my attitude towards these books. It's clearly just not something that is doing it for me enough that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to keep reading. So it puts me in like a weird position when it comes to reading these books. Again, I gave the first book 3 stars. It was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. This one is the same. I'm not feeling any stronger about it. I did read a recap on book 1. There were definitely some things that I'd forgotten, and like there were things that I'd forgotten and I was like, oh yeah, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I remember that. So just my enthusiasm for reading these books is just not there. So I don't really know why I'm doing this to myself. I don't know what I'm doing. The thing is, the problem that I have is that there are Sanderson books that I really like. I really liked Warbreaker and I really liked Elantris. Those two, absolutely fantastic books. I'm fairly certain I gave Elantris 5 stars. I think I gave Warbreaker 4.5. Really enjoyed them. So the thing is, all of these bloody books are interconnected. If another book comes out in Elantris or Warbreaker, to fully appreciate them, I need to read all of the other stuff, and I don't want to do that. That was the reason I stopped watching the MCU. I used to love the MCU. Up until Infinity Wars, MCU, hardcore, big fan, watched every single release, most of them in cinemas. Loved going. Now, don't get me wrong, the quality did also start to dip, but also it was just we started getting TV shows out and we started getting loads of films out every year that barely felt connected until you get to one of the main films. And then if you don't have all of this prior knowledge, then you are missing something. And that is what Sanderson feels like to me. It feels like this is homework in case another book in Elantris or Warbreaker comes out and I want to read it. So I feel like I'm reading these massive tomes of books as homework for a book I might like. And there's just a part of me that doesn't think it's worth it, even with how much I liked Elantris and how much I liked Warbreaker. I don't know. I mean, again, I am liking Mistborn Era 2. I don't know if I just nope out of these and try another Mistborn Era 2. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with Sanderson. I'd say help me, but I should have already come to some kind of conclusion before this vlog comes out. So I'm going to keep reading for now. It's not hurting me. I'm not disliking it. Like, don't get me wrong. I am not disliking these books. Not in the slightest. They are 3.5-ish reads. Like, they are decent enough. I just don't find them worth my while, and my enthusiasm is not there. And it made worse by the fact that I feel I have to read them to be able to get to a book I'll enjoy in the future. So it's the obligation element to it as well that I'm finding really exhausting. And it's just not good for me. It's not making me want to read. It's not feeling productive. So I'll keep reading for now and I'll see how I fare. But at the minute, I'm not having the best time. So I might go ask some of my Sanderson inclined friends what I might do and go from there. I did also, because there's no way I am reading this fucking thing at night, like when my brain is fried. So I also picked up an ebook. I wanted to read one digitally because my husband was watching and gaming and we were downstairs and like all huddled up and we had like nice mood lighting and stuff on. So I decided I was going to read digitally instead. So I did pick up The Night Prince, which is the sequel to The Wolf King, which I read in last week's vlog, and I started that. So it's not a spinner wheel one. I was going to spin, but then it was late and it was dark and I didn't want to spin in the dark where like the video quality is really garbage, but I wanted to read something then and there. So I just started The Night Prince. To be fair, Mel was practically crying that I wasn't diving straight into The Night Prince, so I've just done it. Whatever happens after this one will have to be a spin, and if it's a double digital book, it's a double digital book, you know, I just read another one. At the minute, weird. I'm liking The Night Prince though. At least I've got that going for me. I'm having a great time with The Night Prince. We're getting more of Blick, who is my favorite character in the series so far. I am excited to see where this is going to go. We've had a lot of things happen already, even though I'm only in the first 100 pages. I think I've just reached page 100, maybe. Whatever the chapter closest to page 100. So I'm either in the high 90s or in the low hundreds. I got to there and then I stopped for the night. And yeah, so much has already managed to happen. Like, we've already had several things be revealed and several things, like the author hasn't done the middle book syndrome of we're going to have like a lull after all the excitement at the end of book 1. Sometimes at the beginning of the second book you have the lull of like not much happening, and then it all kind of kicks into gear again to get you ready for book 3. This one isn't doing that. This one is still very much gathering stuff from the end of the first book, and I like when series do that. So I am excited to continue, and hopefully I can do that soon. And yeah, I'm probably going to go do that today. It's Saturday. I am chilling. I do not have plans today, so I'm just going to sit and chill. And because I'm in a relaxing mood, I did read the interludes today earlier on in this morning, but now I'm not feeling like my brain is up to reading more of this. So I'm going to switch to The Night Prince and continue reading that. So odd week, especially given the high of last week. I'm feeling a bit like, oh, okay, which also might be affecting my enjoyment of this. We'll see how I fare and what my friends kind of recommend that I do, because at the minute I'm really not enjoying reading Stormlight Archive. And again, I think the psychological side of it, feeling like homework, is just not helping situations. So I'll have a chat and then I will give you some thoughts on what on earth I'm going to do about it to make it not feel so dreadful to read this book. Hey vlog, I am here to check in because I have decided I'm going to be DNFing Words of Radiance. I'm not necessarily DNFing this in like a permanent sense, but I am only really reading my way through the Cosmere because I've been told that the best way to consume the Cosmere is to read all of the Cosmere. I've had a very tumultuous relationship with the Cosmere. I really did like Elantris and Warbreaker, the first of which I gave 5 stars, the second of which I gave 4.5 stars. Had a great time with those. I did genuinely enjoy those. I had a disappointing time with Mistborn. I think they've got 3, 2, 3 stars, if I'm not mistaken. I think the middle one is the one with the lowest rating. I had not a good time with those books, really, because I was expecting them to be new favorites and they weren't. And the first time I read them, I was like, okay. And then I gave them higher ratings than I really thought they deserved because I kind of felt like I was missing something. And then I reread them and still had the same problems and lowered all of their stars. It's not that I dislike them actively. It's just that I had problems with, like, there were a lot of things that I had problems with them that impeded my enjoyment. Not in their problematic sense, just in things that didn't connect with me. There were scenes in there that I found tedious. The presentation of certain things I really did not like. And I didn't feel like it was doing anything new aside from the magic system. And I can't be invested in a story solely based on its magic system. So I was fine at best with them. Second time around, I was just not having a good time. I did like the first Wax and Wayne book, so I'm happy to continue with those. And I know they're very thoroughly connected with the Cosmere, but those are such easy and light reads, it's fine. The problem that I'm having with Stormlight is I know that this is like the magnum opus. This is the one that connects everything. And the only reason I would bother reading through these, given that they seem to be a 3-star-ish read for me, I'm fairly certain that this will be a 3-star read for me. It's not a problem. It's not a book I'm going to dislike. But this is 1,000 pages worth of a 3-star read. And at this trajectory, given this seems to be a lot of people's favorite, I would say that the subsequent books will probably also be 3-star reads. And those are each also 1,000 plus pages. So it just seems like a lot of work to be putting into 4,000 pages. And they would be worth the work if I felt it was necessary to enjoy Warbreaker Book 2 and Elantris Book 2 when they finally come out. First of all, I talked to Mare and Rachel and they both said it's probably not going to be necessary for me to have read all of Stormlight to be able to enjoy those. They'll let me know if they do. But even if it turns out that it will be necessary for me to read those books, it will be for such nuanced details that me reading them now, when there's not even necessarily a release date for the other 2 books, it just makes no sense. It would make more sense for me to reread all of the Cosmere nearer the time so that I can take the most enjoyment possible out of the books that I do love. So for now, there is no point in me reading this, and I am procrastinating on reading it, and I really want to continue to ride the high of last week's vlog where I was getting 5-star reads. So I am going to not read this, and then if it seems necessary nearer the time to reading the books that I'm genuinely interested in, then I will do that. I will keep the Cosmere prompt inside my jar for my extended universes, but I will be using that to read Wax and Wayne. I will not be using it to read Stormlight. I'm very, very sorry to all the Cosmere fans out there. It's not that I think that they're bad books, they just don't connect with me. They don't work for me. They're not ones that I necessarily think, why would you love these? I understand the hype around them. I understand why people enjoy them. I do not. So I am going to stop here and I'm going to go spin again, and we're going to hopefully find something that is more to my liking. All right, let's give her another spin. Prompt. All right, which one have we got? Favorite author. All right, let's go read something by a favorite author. See, the wheel has understood the assignment. Since I'm trying to get back into my 5-star era, who better to do so than my favorite author? So I'm going to be trying out Anderson vs. Death by Anna Smith Spark. I don't know anything about this, but Anna Smith Spark is currently my favorite author, so I need to give this a go. Excited and I guess a little bit concerned about this one because it is sci-fi. It is not Anna Smith Sparks' usual foray, but I trust her implicitly. So I'm excited to give this one a go. I have another sci-fi on the go at the minute. My background book, as I said in the previous update, is Leviathan Wakes, which is one of the Expanse books, but I think I'll be fine nonetheless. So let's go give this a whirl and see how I fared. I don't know anything about this one. I literally picked it up because of who the author is. I don't know the synopsis yet. So I'll get back to you once I have a better idea of what this story is about, I guess, once I've started it, and I can give you a little bit more information. But it's very short, so I should be able to get through it in no time. It's only 325 pages and there's 48 chapters, so I feel like the chapter is going to be really short, and that's going to help me fly through. So very excited to give this a try, and I will get back to you, as I said, once I know what I'm talking about a bit. Hey look, I'm here to check in because I am now halfway through Anderson versus Death, and I thought I haven't even told you what this is about. I don't think. If I have, I'll edit this out. I'm halfway through this, and this is the story of Judge Anderson, who is one of the judges in the Judge Dredd universe, and she was in this conflict in a previous book that I have not read against the notorious Judge Death. And she defeats him, but in defeating him, she kind of almost like absorbs him into herself. And now she's in a coma and she's stuck in her head fighting death. I'm really enjoying being in her head, actually. For someone I have never heard of before, who clearly has some lore behind her, it was fascinating. And her conflict with death was also really interesting. So I've been having a really fascinating time just seeing a different angle, I guess, to this world. We always get it normally from Judge Dredd's perspective, who is definitely someone I think is there for a thematic purpose when it comes to ideals around justice. But I think that having a different, slightly more nuanced approach that we're getting with Anderson, especially when she's stuck inside her own head, is fascinating. So I think that this is being executed in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be like a novel in the Judge Dredd universe. I don't even think I mentioned yesterday when I talked about it. I don't even know if I mentioned that this is a Judge Dredd book because it's in the Psy universe. I am just really liking the way that we're seeing her as a character and the way almost that morality is presented from a female perspective instead of from a male one in a universe that normally is like this, that has these discussions around morality and justice and where the two converge and where the two are separate and what is or isn't right and moral versus what is and isn't legal. The overlap versus the disparity between the two from a female perspective is fascinating. I wonder if there's a book in this world that is told from a POC character's perspective, because I think that would be fascinating as well. So yeah, I'm having a good time with it. I am glad that I am reading it. I am glad that I am enjoying it. Anna Smith Sparks' prose never lets me down, and it's not gonna, is it? Let's be honest, it's not gonna. So am I gonna have a huge amount more to say about this? Probably not, because I'm just enjoying it. I don't think this is going to be new favorite territory, but I'm having a good time with it. So let's just roll with it. And yeah, hopefully I will continue to enjoy this until the end. Hey vlog, I am now finished with Anderson vs. Death, so I thought it would be a good time to check in because I had a great time with this. It's not new favorite territory because this isn't really quite my vibe. I just love Anna Smith Sparks' writing, and I love the way that that comes through in her characters. And if you like her character work and you like the Judge Dredd universe, then this is a fantastic combination. As I said before, I have read stuff in this universe before. I really do think that Anna Smith Sparks can do no wrong at this point because she just brings forth a writing style that bleeds into making fantastic world building, fantastic characters in a way that I just don't normally experience elsewhere. So while this easily could have been a dud book for me where I'd have been like, yeah, 3 stars, I don't care, it's definitely gone as 4 stars and it deserves it, and I am so glad to have read it. I don't have a huge amount of more thoughts on it from when we last checked in, so I'm just going to leave it at that and say yes, I had a good time. Maybe not the most memorable one, definitely not new favorite territory, but I had a good time. And if you want a cyberpunk style story, I would also recommend this one. So that does mean that now we need to go spin and we're going to go see what we end up with. All right, vlog, we're here again. Let's hope it's another good one like we got with Anna Smith Sparks, that the wheel continues to work in my favor. Let's go. Ooh, we got another prompt. What do we get? We've got, oh, second chance author. That's not ideal. All right, I'm going to have to stare at my shelves for a minute for this one, I think. See what I can come up with. All right, so we got Second Chance, and I have decided that I'm going to go with The Sword Triumphant by Gareth Hanrahan. I didn't really like book 2 that much. I liked book 1, and then I didn't really like book 2. So book 3 is, it works, I think, for Second Chance because I'm giving the author a third chance, but I'm giving the series a second chance. Like I'm letting it impress me again, bring it back to me, hopefully get me to enjoy it. I have my reservations about this one. I don't know if the first book was just so much better than the rest of them, or if the second book is Middle Book Syndrome. This is a series in which we are following a man named Alf, who is one of the remaining people from this original fellowship back in the day that defeated evil, and there are stirrings of evil arising again, and he needs to step in to help. I did really enjoy the first book, and it dealt with tropes that we see all the time, but in an interesting way. It had some interesting themes going on in there. I really liked the character work. And then I felt like some of the character work felt a lot flatter in the second one. I also found that the plot felt a little bit of a rehash almost of book one, and didn't really do anything new, and didn't really entice me in the way that I was hoping it would. So yeah, I'm hoping that it was just Middle Book Syndrome and this one brings it back round, but we shall see. I'm hoping I enjoy it nonetheless. Hey vlog! I am checking in because I have made some progress in The Sword Triumphant by Gareth Hanrahan. I am now on page 180. So I have read just about nearly, is that a third, a quarter? I don't know, I'm really bad at proportions. I think that's maybe about a third, possibly a third. I don't know. Math. Okay, I like this more than I liked the second one, at least at the moment. Do I think if you noped out of the second one, you should push through the second one for this? No. Not in the slightest. I don't think that it brings it back in a way that I'm like, oh my god, this is making reading book 2 completely worth it. We've had another time jump as well. It's been a while. We also have not quite new characters, but like certain characters that are being elevated in their prominence within the book as well. We have still our two kind of more major perspectives. I won't tell you who they are because obviously spoilers and things, because book 3. But I am liking it. I will probably finish it. Like, at least we're not going to have 2 DNFs in one vlog, but I'm not feeling very strongly about it. It's more, I'm curious enough to see how it ends now that I own it, now that I've got it. I can't see that this is going to completely redeem the series for me, bring it back to the 4-star that book 1 was. So yeah, we'll see how I fare with it, because book 2 was 2 stars, I think. So this might be 3 stars, which would even out the series as a 3-star read for me, which would make sense. So far, we've definitely had that re-establishing, and I think one of the things that I have as a problem with this series is that each book almost needs like a reset at the start. It doesn't lead in really nicely from the previous book. None of the books have done that in a way that's, yes, this is all one seamless story, which for me with series, they either need to basically be what feels like one story that's cut up into chunks, or it needs to feel like they're all interconnected, distinctive stories. So for example, obviously most traditional series that you can think of, the Poppy War or the David Barry trilogy or the First Law trilogy, any of those where it just feels like one story that is spanning over multiple installments. Or, for example, the likes of The Age of Darkness by Stephen Arion. The first 3 books, they all feel like separate books in a way that just kind of have overlapping threads. So you still need to read them in order, but they feel like distinct stories in a way that feels really compelling, because they almost feel like a different subgenre for each book, and they're very immersive in that way. This one is doing neither of those things. It is not one seamless story, and at the same time, the books don't feel distinctive enough to feel like individual stories. They just don't flow well into each other. I'm so glad I'm not binging this series. When I first read book 1, I picked up books 2 and 3 immediately because I thought, oh, this will be great, I'll just go binge it. And then I didn't get around to it, and I was beating myself up about it because I love binge reading series. And then I read book 2 and it was such a letdown. And then I finished book 2 and I was like, if I don't read book 3 soon, I won't read the series. I will just abandon the whole thing. And then I didn't get around to it again because I have blog projects on for the latter half of the year, and they all had predetermined TBRs, or they were determined by prompts in the likes of Lightfall. I couldn't really get one of these in for Lightfall, and I didn't want to anyway, and I ended up with just no time or space to be able to fit in this kind of book. So I didn't. And then now comes January, and I thought, oh gosh, yeah, I should probably read that. Hence why I picked this up before that kind of like mental time limit in my brain kind of ran out, and I knew that I'd just procrastinate on it. So it made sense for this one to come up as second chance, because otherwise I wouldn't have bloody finished it. But I am glad that I didn't binge read this series, because again, I thought with this one, at least this one would bleed more seamlessly from book 2. Even though book 2 didn't end in a way that was, obviously it was open for more things to be happening, of course it was, but it didn't feel like it was open in a way that was like, oh, we're gonna literally end this book and the next scene is going to be a direct follow-up from that. And it's not. It's one that I'm really glad I didn't binge, and it's one that I am not loving. Now, again, I will finish it. I don't mind it. And I know it sounds weird because I just DNF'd the flipping Cosmere over a 3-star read. But this is the last book in a series, and then it's done, and then I can make a guilt-free decision as to whether or not I want to keep these books, whether they need to take up space on my shelves. There's downsides and upsides to me finishing it, but I think if I don't finish it, I'm more likely to cling on to books that I am not obsessed with solely on the basis that, oh, I've not finished it, I feel bad about it, maybe I want to come back to it at some point. While if I finish it now, if it's read, I might just get rid of the trilogy. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm not hating it. I just wish that I liked it as much as I liked book 1. So yeah, I'm gonna go continue reading that, and I'll just check in as and when I have made some progress. I've got other books going on in the background as well, so this will, be a while in the making. But that's okay. That's the reason that I wanted to do the spinning wheel vlogs the way I'm doing them, is that I can do vlog projects in the background, and those projects can take longer. I want my projects to take longer, to feel more crafted, to feel more immersive, to feel like I am genuinely putting 100% into each one. So if this vlog only has 4 or 5 books in it, and I have been doing it for a month, that's fine. And then I've got my vlog projects going on in the background. That's the intention. So hopefully this still works out well, and I'll just chip away at this slowly as and when I feel like reading it, because I've got different books, which means that I can mood read a little bit more on the go as well. So we'll see how long it takes me to get through this, but yeah, I hopefully will enjoy it a little bit more by the end of it. Hey vlog, I'm checking in. It's been a few days. I don't even know how many days. I can't remember when I last checked in. And I finished The So Triumphant. And as I suspected, it was a 3-star read. I haven't fully decided yet on whether or not I will be keeping this series. I'll keep them on my shelves, and then when I next need to do a purge for whatever reason, I will see what I do with these. But at least now I've read it, and I will be able to make a decision based on the entire series and whether or not it benefits me to keep them, whether or not it's a series that I think is worth my time and worth my energy to reread, whether I think it's a series that simply would be one that I would discuss enough to warrant keeping on my shelves. So it's not one that I think particularly badly of, but it's not one that I think particularly highly of. I don't think that we particularly have developments in here that I feel very strongly about. We clearly have something set up at the end that is there to discuss, I suppose, the cyclical nature of both the need for heroes due to the cyclical nature of violence, which I thought was interesting, but it's nothing new. We see that a lot in fantasy. It's a theme that is recurring. Don't get me wrong, by the state of the world, it's clearly a message that we need to keep trying to flip and learn. So it's just one that I feel a bit about, it's like that's nearly a week of my life I'm not getting back. This vlog is going very strangely at the moment. Oh my god. So anyway, I will go spin. Let's go spin. Let's see if we can get something better this time, because the month is still young-ish. Let's go. All right, let's see what we get. That's in the middle. Ooh. Oh dear, we have a challenge. All right. Which one did we get? Our Fantasy. All right, I need to go look at my Our Fantasy bingo and see what I need to read. All right, I got Our Fantasy. For this one, I'm going to read Fortune's Fall by Angela Board. I've owned this one for quite a while, so it's one I should be getting to anyway. And this is one that I'm going to be reading for the underhyped, or whatever it is, the underhyped-ish adjacent square, which is basically to read a book that has less than a certain amount of ratings and then is more than 5 years old for hard mode. This qualifies for both. So this is the one I'm going to be reading. I don't know a huge amount about it, so I guess once I've started reading it, once I've read maybe like 100 pages or so, I'll check in and kind of let you know what it's about. This is an epic fantasy, first book in a series. And self-pub, that's literally all I know about it. I knew more about it when I picked it up, and it was interesting to me, and it's definitely one that I was excited to read when I picked it up, and then it's just been a while and I haven't gotten to it, and now I can't remember why I picked it up. So that's what we're going to do with this one. I'm just going to go in blind. Why not? Like, I'm already blind for it, so I might as well. And then once I've read 100 pages, I'll hopefully be able to give you a vague synopsis and be able to confirm definitely which square I'm using this for. I just vaguely remembered in my brain that that was one of the books I was using for one of the prompts, and I knew the prompt needed to have not very many ratings, and then it needed to be more than 5 years old. I just can't remember anything else about the book or which exact square it is. I think I've only got 4 squares left, maybe 3 squares left on my Reddit bingo, so let's get to finishing it. Hey vlog, I'm checking in because I have now started Fortune's Fall. It's an ebook, so I'm like percentage in instead of pages in, but I feel like I'm a decent enough way in, enough that I can chat to you a little bit about what this book is about, because obviously I didn't tell you what it was about the other day because I couldn't remember. In this story, we are following a woman who used to be a pawn, embroiled in the feuding houses of this society, of this kind of like medieval inspired fantasy setting. The love of her life was lost in one of these conflicts, and she has since then just decided to leave it all behind. She is now pretending to be a man and is a mercenary. Then one day she is approached by someone that tells her that the person that betrayed her and potentially led to all of the things that have gone wrong in her life is around, and that she could potentially bring them down. So we have it where on the one hand she is trying to search for her lost love that she believes is still alive, and then also bringing down the person who betrayed her and ruined her life. So that's what we're at the minute. It's very epic fantasy in scope. I'm really liking the writing style. I am finding that really easy to get through. It's very much feeling like epic fantasy. We've got a character who is angry, but at the same time still quite sensitive. So I think that we're pulling off this strong woman slash someone pretending to be a man for the sake of being able to earn more money and stuff, because obviously people would be more likely to hire men for this kind of role. I think that that combo is working out really well. I think that the type of character that she is still very much feels like a woman, which I'm really enjoying. But you can also see how certain characteristics that she has and mannerisms that she can play up would allow people to believe that she is a man. So I'm really liking that combo, that we have someone who is feminine. I think a lot of the time when we have books that tend to have hyper masculine, they tend to not have any femininity. They basically almost act like a man in a woman's body. Well, in this case, it is someone who is a woman. And I think that that combo works really well, because I really like it when we play with gender types and we don't have to squeeze anyone into a box or fit anyone into a mold. And I think that's being done really well in this book. So far, the bits that I have read, I have really enjoyed. I haven't read very far in. I just thought that now that I think I have a vague grasp on what is going on in this story, I would check in and update you and let you know the synopsis. So far, so good. I'm having a good time reading it on my phone, which is always a really quick way for me to get through books, to be honest. I actually read quicker on my phone just because I have my phone constantly on me, which means if I'm just sat there for a couple of minutes, I can read a couple of pages. It doesn't mean that I need to get up, go find my book. If I'm out, it doesn't mean that I'm bookless. So it ends up actually working in my favor a lot of the time. So that's where I'm at with this one. Again, not a huge amount of thoughts. I just thought I'd do a quick check-in to let you know that I have started it, to give you a vague synopsis and let you know that I am at least enjoying a book in this vlog. I think you needed an update where I enjoyed a book. Again, not very far in, so that could always change, I suppose, but at least as of yet, I am enjoying it. So I have that going for me. Also, for the prompts, I know that I put it on screen because I've already edited the previous clip, but yes, it's for Hidden Gem. So yeah, it is the kind of like underhyped, underrated book. It's a book that has low amount of ratings. I'm surprised actually this one doesn't have more ratings, to be honest, given the way that it's written and everything. It does seem like the kind of book that would really suit a lot of fantasy readers. So it's an interesting one to be the one that's gone underhyped for this long. I will preface as well, because I don't think I said this, my Our Fantasy bingo card that I am doing this year, I'm trying to use exclusively women and non-binary authors to fulfill these prompts. A lot of the prompts to me sounded a little bit like things that I've only really seen men writing, and I wanted to rectify that, so I am exclusively reading women for these prompts. I am excited to continue to get into this book because, again, it does feel like a very epic fantasy story that I haven't read in a while. This type of typical epic fantasy that I'm really enjoying. I feel like it's a genre that I have been struggling with a little bit just because of the way the conventions of the genre work. They do tend to feel a little bit repetitive. Not that this one is particularly inventing the wheel or feeling new. I'm just really enjoying the vibe and the atmosphere that it's bringing forth. So hopefully I can continue to enjoy this one and actually give a book a high rating in this vlog. Who'd have thunk it? So yeah, for now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get into this a little bit further, and once I am halfway, I will check back in. Hey vlog, I am here to check in because I have made some decent progress in Fortune's Fall. I am now over 50% of the way in, and I went from this being solid at least 4 stars, I am having a great time, to, oh, I just am not feeling like I want to pick it up now. I don't know, somewhere along the way, I can't pinpoint where, somewhere along the way, I went from this book being one that I was really invested in the character and really therefore caring about the plot, to there's so much going on in the background that I am not caring anymore. That the background stuff is too prevalent in the story, is very at the forefront, but I don't feel like it is significant. It doesn't feel like it means anything, or if there's any point to my reading it. I'm liking the dual timeline, the way that the POVs of this character is working. We have the past timeline when she's young and she's naive and she's just starting to fall in love and she's starting to become the person that we kind of later see as well. And likewise, I like the present timeline where we're seeing her go on this mission and try and find her love and to exact revenge. I'm liking the two timelines. I'm just not liking anything else. Like, I like our protagonist and I like her story, and everything else just feels like it's detracting from it. And for some reason, it's taking up so much headspace that then I'm not wanting to pick up the book and I keep not feeling like reading, which is not ideal. It's not what I want. So yeah, I'm just in this weird headspace at the minute of just like, I'm not sure how to go about this. I don't know what I want from this. So that's a shame. That being said, hopefully the latter half will kind of pick up and iron that out a little bit more and make me more invested again. But yeah, I don't know what it is with me these last couple weeks of reading where I'm not vibing with books. You know, like, I'm reading stuff in the background that I'm liking a little bit more. I'm reading Leviathan Wakes, and I'm also doing like a YA romance vlog in the background that won't be coming out till summer. But I don't care, I think, is the thing. I don't really care for the book. And it's messing with me because it's one that I felt like I really would love. Like, so much about this character I really like. I like our protagonist. It just feels bogged down by other things, I guess, is the thing. So at the moment, I'm not invested. And that's affecting my enjoyment. I'm so sorry. This vlog must be really flipping awful to watch. Just watch me go, oh, another book. I do like reading, I promise. I like books. And I like fantasy. I like epic fantasy. For anyone also watching this and thinking that I don't like fantasy. So yeah, I think I'll try and read this as quickly as possible, and then I'll do one more spin and hopefully we can get something good out of this. And I'm gonna try and stick to fantasy. Try and fall back in love with fucking fantasy. Let's do this. So yeah, one more check-in for this. See how I fare. See if I like the latter half more. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. Hey vlog, I'm coming in to check in because I have actually finished Fortune's Fall, hence why I'm here. I have actually started another vlog in the background, but I'm probably going to need a physical read, so we're probably going to spin again and like really hope that whatever comes up will be a physical read. So yeah, I finished Fortune's Fall, and it's a shame. Like, I did like it. It was a good book. I was glad to have read it and seen it through. It's not one that I think I should have DNF'd, but I'm really tired of 3-star or lower fantasy wrecking me this week. Like, why is that a thing that I am enduring this week? I don't know. So yeah, I would really like for like an epic fantasy that I actually want to read that ends up being a good rating. I don't think that the ending necessarily went downhill. It's not one where I'm like, oh god, what was the point in continuing? But also, I don't think that it went uphill enough to kind of bring it back for me after I'd started to lose interest. It's interesting because there are so many elements that, if placed in isolation, I think I would like. I liked the politics. I liked the characters. I liked the plot. Somehow the combination of them did not work for me. The younger version of our protagonist got on my nerves quite often. I didn't really buy into the romance all that much. Later timeline plot, I wasn't into as much as I would have liked. Like, I started out really invested in it, and then by the end of it, it went on too long. I think a lot of this book can be put down to the fact that it's too long and hasn't been ironed out as much. I think this is definitely one where like a good editor maybe would have been able to improve this book. And then yes, also just the world building, while it was really interesting, it just didn't feel like it meant enough at the same time. Like, I wanted more from it than I was getting. So a lot of issues with this book, but I do appreciate it. I think the prose style was good. I was going to say it's well written, but that would kind of lead into my complaints. But the prose style was really good. And like I said, so many elements of it were good. I just don't think the combination worked. And I do think that it is a product of it needing a better editor. So this is definitely one of those that I think is a product of being self-pub. and that's a shame. Not the best, not ideal. I didn't dislike it, and it's definitely, like, I would pick up more from this author. Maybe not in this series, I'm not sure I'll pick up the sequel, but if the author did put out something else, like something different, or if the sequel got really good reviews from people who were just as hesitant about it as I was, then maybe I would continue, because, like, again, the prose style is good, the talent is there, it just needs refining. So at the moment, not one that I am fussed about continuing, but also not an author I'd object to reading something else by them if something sounded interesting. Another read, which just seems to be a recurring theme for this vlog, and at this point the rage is starting to get to me. So we're gonna go spin for the final time this month, and we'll see what comes up, and hope and pray that I get something that's more than a 3-star read. All right, let's give her a spin. Challenge. Okay. Ialdia. All right, I need to go see what the first month in Ialdia prompt is, but I do need to get to this anyway, so let's go look. Okay, so we have a problem with the Ialdia prompt. The Ialdia prompt for this month is to read a book. It says on the thing to read a book that was written in 2024. I think that the new one for this year should probably be a book written in 2025. I've read one that fits both. I have read a book that was written in 2024 and a book that was released in 2025. I have read both. So I think since I've already accomplished this one, normally the idea would be I would pick a different one of the options available, but that's not available to me because the January one is the same for everyone. So I'm going to hold on to this one and start February with it. So that means that I'm going to spin again now. I have already said in my video that this was fine within the rules. With the challenge ones, they can roll over to another month. In this case as well, like, obviously this is not one that would normally count for that, but in this occasion, I don't really have any other options. We're gonna go spin again and see what we end up with and see what we read. Series. Finish a series. Okay, now I wanted a physical read, but I'm thinking I'll go with The Tides of Torment by N.C. Scrimgeour. This is the third and final book in the Sea of Souls trilogy. I loved the first one and the second one, so I'm hoping I will love the third one. It's a maritime fantasy with Selkies. It's inspired by Scotland. I am excited to get to this one, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to add another digital book to my TBR instead, which is a shame. I would have liked a physical book. I do have The Labyrinth's Heart, but I think I would like to read this next month. I've put it on my TBR for next month, and I would like to read it for then. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to read Tides of Torment, add another ebook to the TBR. Who cares at this point? And hopefully I can end this month on a high. Let's do this. We can do this. Hey vlog, I am here to check in. I am actually filming another vlog in the background of this one. I think I've already mentioned that. So my reading has been a little tiny bit slower, but I have now started Tides of Torment, the third book in the Sea of Souls series, or saga. Is it a saga? Chronicle? Saga, I think. This one is, I mean, obviously it's the finale of a series that I am really loving. I have given both of the first two books 4.5 stars, and I can't imagine this was going to be the exception. It's got this level of darkness, but also this level of whimsy, because you've got the Scottish folklore to it as well. This is a Selkie story. I don't even know if I told you the synopsis. I'll tell you it again and then just cut it out if I have. This is the story of Isla Blackwood, who is the daughter of noble family, and she left home when she was young because she did not really fit in with her family, only to then return and find that the Selkie raiders that frequently are at conflict with the humans in this area have raided her home and killed her parents, and therefore it's just her and her brother. And then they encounter a Selkie who then decides to help them, and then we learn an awful lot about the way the conflict between the Selkies and the humans are working, and this tenuous alliance of trying to bring about peace, etc. It's a very interesting series as well, because there are so many discussions around colonialism that are in there in such a subtle way that I really appreciated, about the way that dominant forces subdue people in a way that I've not really seen presented very often before. So I really did like that. And then obviously we've got the Scottish folklore with the Selkies, etc. as well. The series goes from there. It's very maritime in spirit as well. There's a lot of seafaring. I think one of the things I really appreciate about the series, what's going to sound really random, but a lot of the maritime, seafaring, sea-centered stories tend to be tropical, right? Or that maybe Mediterranean at most vibe, right? It's normally high seas, piracy kind of thing, you know, Caribbean,
that sort of thing. However, this one is very much cold seafaring. You know, we're talking Scotland kind of seafaring. It's storms and tempests and different to like the hurricanes that you'd get in the Caribbean. So that is also fascinating to me, the way that the cold feels in this story. I'm really liking the romance in here. Obviously, I can't talk about it, but I really like the romance in this story as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing more of that. And obviously, this is an ending. So we've got a lot of the peril is really amping up in a way that I'm really enjoying. So I do think that this is going to be the book that saves this vlog for me. I mean, granted, I did like the Anna Smith Spark one, but in a different way. But I think this is going to be the one that makes me be like, yes, oh my god, yes, epic fantasy, right? So hopefully this one can redeem an entire genre for me in this final book. So I'm going to go continue reading, and then when I've got something to say, but again, it's the last book in a series that is incredibly underhyped. I don't think very many people have read it. So while I think you should be reading it, I don't really want to give much of anything away because a lot of people won't have read this series before. So all I'll do is just like scream and hype about things in the background and hopefully encourage someone to pick it up. Hey vlog, I am now halfway through Tides of Torment, so I thought it was about time that I checked in. I am having a wonderful time with Tides of Torment. I can't talk to you about it very much. Not because I can't talk to you, not because it's like I can't talk to you, but like literally because it's the third book in a series. Nothing personal, you know? I'm in such a fucking weird mood today. I am really loving this book. I'm having a great time with it. I love this series. I think that this one is probably, is it the best or is it just like the epic conclusion? It depends on how it sticks the landing in the latter half. But if it continues like this series is phenomenal. I am having an amazing time with this series. So yeah, it's going well, but it's not one I can talk to you about. I'm loving the characters. I'm loving the character development. I'm so afraid for these characters. This author has shown that she knows how to do stakes, right? That she is okay with there being genuine stakes. Because you know, there are some authors where you're in a comfort zone, you're like, nothing's going to actually happen. Don't get me wrong. I have been tricked by that before. I'm looking at you, Sarah J. Maas. But for the most part, there are certain characters that you're like, you've got enough plot armor, nothing's going to happen to you. But with NC Scrimshaw, even the characters that arguably should be safe, and I have had no cause to believe they won't be, because of other things that she's done, it's like, is she gonna? It's like, is this gonna go badly? So I am just excited to continue. It's compulsively readable. I keep wanting to pick it up, and I intend to keep picking it up. So while I don't have very much that I can say to you, just know that I am having a good time, and that this book is the one that is going to bring this vlog home. I'm so glad I'm ending this vlog on this one, so it's not just a misery fest for the entire way through. But oh my god, did we have to work to get here? So I'm gonna stop chatting and rambling now, because again, there's nothing that I can really say to you anyway. I will just update you when I finish this book now, and then we can chat about it a little bit and go over the dumpster fire that was this vlog. Hey vlog, I'm here to wrap up because I have finished Tides of Torment. This one's got 5 stars. I had an amazing time with this book. I think that one of my favorite things actually about this, which I haven't talked about really as much in previous books in this series, one of the things that I really appreciate about it shows characters who are in difficult positions having to make difficult decisions, but not glorifying that. One of the times that I have seen that depicted and I appreciated was in Red Rising, where Darrow is consistently put in positions where he has to make horrible choices. Our protagonist in this is similar. She has to make some horrible choices. I think that it was done in a way that didn't glorify the choices that she's making. It doesn't make her innocent. It means sometimes for a better world, tough choices are made. We have so many conversations here about imperialism and colonialism and oppression and ancestral trauma, guilt. But at its core is humanity. We are following a group of people who have all lost something of themselves, who are all deeply entrenched in the fabric of this society and need to tear it down. And it was done in a way that I just really appreciated the message it was putting across. Now, I could talk to you for ages about the vibes, the maritime vibes, the horror vibes, the folklore, the dark fantasy. I could keep going on about that. But this book, my biggest takeaway was the humanity. It was the human element of the politics, of the interpersonal relationships, of the connection, of what is drawing me as a reader in is to care about these characters and want better for them, want a better life for them. And that was the point of reading this book. If you're a fan of Tide Child by R.J. Barker, I would recommend this series. I had a great time and I'm so glad that I finished the vlog on this one. So let's wrap up the vlog. The first spin I had was Extended Universe, and I pulled the Cosmere out of the jar and I ended up DNFing Words of Radiance about 200 pages in. Again, nothing inherently wrong with the book, just I am not having a good enough time to warrant dealing with the length of these books. So for now, it's a no from me. The next card that we pulled was Second Chance, and for this one, we continued on with the Lands of the Firstborn series, which is one that I wasn't sure if I was going to continue with, hence the Second Chance. This is the third book, The Sword Triumphant by Gareth Hanrahan. I ended up giving this 3 stars. It was better than the second one, and I am glad that I have finished it so I can make a decision as to whether or not I want to keep this series. It's not one that I felt very strongly about and one I was still a little bit disappointed in because I wanted to like it as much as I liked the first book. The next card that we pulled is Favorite Author, and I literally had a book on my shelves that was by a favorite author, so I picked up Anderson vs. Death by Anna Smith Spark. I gave this one 4 stars. I ended up having a great time with it. It's not a me book. It's not one that I would normally have read. I only picked it up because it was Anna Smith Spark. I do like the Judge Dredd universe and have read some of the comics in the past, so it's not one that I'm wholly unfamiliar with. It is one that I did enjoy reading and had a good time with. It's probably the least memorable Anna Smith Spark book that I've read because it doesn't necessarily feel like an Anna Smith Spark book, but the prose style is gorgeous and I did really like the themes within here, so I would still recommend you check it out. The next card that we pulled is the R Fantasy Bingo card, and for this one I read Fortune's Fall by Angela Board, which I read for the Hidden Gem prompt, and this one I also ended up giving 3 stars. It was fine. I think it lost its way a little bit throughout the story and I would have liked to have felt more cohesion, I suppose, between the plot, the world building and the character work. I think they all kind of were competing with each other instead of moving along seamlessly together. Now, this is one where I'm not hugely fussed about continuing the series, but if it gets really good reviews from people who are a bit critical of the first one, I might consider it. And then the very last card that we pulled for this vlog is Finish a Series, in which I read Tides of Torment by N.C. Scrimgeour, the last book in the Sea of Souls saga, and this one gets 5 stars from me. Fantastic conclusion to a series, fantastic self-pub series, one that I would just highly recommend, and you've already heard me gush about a couple seconds ago. I'm gonna leave this vlog at that. I'm really glad that the Spinner Wheel is definitely pushing me in a variety of different ways. It's made me pick up a book that I only picked up because of the author and wasn't sure would be for me, and I ended up enjoying. It made me finish 2 series, one that I absolutely adored, one that I am at least glad that I have concluded and didn't chicken out of. It made me read a book that's been on my TBR for a really long time, and it also made me reconsider my position on pushing through books that are not bringing me joy. So while this vlog in itself isn't necessarily me reading a load of books that I have loved, it has definitely given me things to think about in regards to my TBR, which is something I need to be doing at the moment. I need to really be considering what are books that I want to prioritize, what are ones that I want to read, and which ones don't seem to be serving me. So I hope that you've enjoyed the first Spinner Wheel vlog in its new form, in its new shape. Let me know if you've read any of these books and your thoughts on them. Let me know if, based on my liking of these books, if you have any other recommendations for me. Let me know also if there's anything you would like me to add to the format of this vlog. I'm always excited to add more things to it. I might add maybe a challenge element sometime to one of these. Might be fun, but for the time being, I'm having a good time with my reads, which is the important part, right? So that is all from me for today. So thank you ever so much for watching, and I will hopefully catch you in another one soon. Bye.